Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started with our agenda and so forth, and Peter will be joining us in a minute to take over.
Good afternoon.
Oh, there you go.
Magically appeared. I did want to say first off that the weather is absolutely nuts outside. So if the session gets interrupted, it's most likely weather related. So I'm sure you guys are experiencing that too. We weren't sure if today's session would be more attended or less attended, because it could be a lot of people that aren't called away to other things because there's so much e-learning going on across the state, whether that freed you guys up or made you more busy. I wasn't, we weren't sure, but at the end of the day, we're trying to go forward on it. But if there is an interruption or I somehow pop off, it's most likely because either power went off or internet connection went off, or both. So it's pretty windy and wet here. So all right, for today, we're going to start with our usual announcements and reminders, including just a reminder about outside agency contacts in Enrich. So we're obviously still on Enrich until the end of the school year, and we just have noticed some things with respect to the outside agency contact lists that are in districts, Enrich environments, that need to be corrected, just to get the accurate information for those outside agencies. And then Sarah will be sharing with you some recordings that are available if you want to avail yourselves of them for the new Directors Leadership Academy. And then we're going to just give some reminders and updates on some SE teams, professional learning opportunities that we have. And then I wanted to start off the year just to talk about, reiterate the priorities we have in the office as we start this new calendar year. And some strategic planning that we've been doing at the agency, and in the Office of Special Ed Services, and then to just talk about technical assistance for LEAs, and the process for that, and the process we're likely to be moving to in the future. So those are the things we're going to cover today. For the outside agency contact list, many districts in your Enrich environment, you'll still have a toll-free number. For our office, for the Office of Special Education Services, that toll-free number is not in operation anymore. So please remove it from your environment. Most people aren't charged tolls anymore. Haven't seen a payphone in a long time, unless we're watching old episodes of what was that British Traveler show? I forget. Anyway, you can put it in the chat if you remember. That's our quiz for today. Doctor Who. Sorry. Beat you guys to it. But anyway, that's so we're not using that toll-free line. So please modify your outside agency contact list to give the accurate URL address for our dispute resolution, the information particularly about our ombudsperson, and then also the phone number, which is an 803 area code phone number and not a toll-free number. So we appreciate that. All right, Sarah, I think you might be on mute. Sarah, I think you're still on mute.
Thank you. Yes, I've got too much technology going on here. I couldn't figure out how to unmute on my phone. I apologize. Just a moment, please. Could you do those two slides, please? Or that little bit of information, please, Peter? Can you see it again now?
Peter, you're muted.
Now I'm muted. Sorry. about
Okay.
that.
Now
Sorry
I'm,
about that. I'll go ahead and cover that, no problem. So for the New Directors Leadership Academy, we had a couple presentations that we've recorded. If you want to see what we're telling new directors, you're more than welcome to check it out. Or if you're a new director and want to hear it again. We have one that has to do with IDA budgets and gaps. And that's a little bit longer. And then another one for tiered credentialing for college and career readiness. And that was the presenter was Quincy Moore, who was the director of career and technology education. She's now moved on to SCASA, but she was the director of that office at that time. So I forget the duration, Sarah. I think that the budget one was a little bit longer.
it was, thank you. I'm back online now here. Yeah, that one was about an hour and a half. But the tiered credentialing for CTE was about 28 minutes. It was very short. And then she gave us a lot of resources as far as like what's available in your area, what are the not demographics of your people, but your businesses in your area. And so all of that I put right in the Google folder for you to see. But obviously there's no memo out from that office yet. I mean, things are forthcoming, but it was just to give you a preview of what's coming down the road. That was really all I had for that one, Peter.
Okay. If you want to move on, go to the next.
Oh yeah, I'm in charge of that. Oh my gosh. I should have had coffee. All right. Where am I? What's going on? Is it really frozen? No way. Okay. So the SC Teams people, everybody sort of knows who's talking. So let's see, Susan Thomas was up first, and I'll get this out of the way.
Well, hey, I'm glad to be here today. And just two quick announcements from the Academic Alliance of South Carolina. Our website is up and running, and we are so excited. It launched last week. We're in the process of adding some information, and we'll be doing that over the next few weeks, adding a lot of resources for you. And then if you'll go to the next slide, Sarah, we have our first in a series of evidence-based practices, and we call this our evidence-based practice network, where we have practitioners share evidence-based practices. And Jennifer Sowers from Carrier Middle in Charleston County is going to be talking about writing standards aligned academic goals with general outcome measures, and she'll be giving some tips from the classroom. This is these last about 45 minutes. There's a chance for questions and discussions. And we have a whole winter series planned. We're targeting writing goals, both in academic areas for students with mild disabilities. And then we have some things on for students with extensive support needs. And so we've got writing goals, and then also how to progress monitor and what to do with your progress monitoring data. And so that's our winter spring series. And I'm going to put in the chat a one-page document that actually will provide for you, hopefully that went in, all of the series each month. And we are looking forward to seeing you there. That we do record these, and we will have them on our website after we play them. So if you can't get to it that day, you can go later. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Susan. Somebody for Basque? I'll do this right from here. Okay, well,
Yep, I got you. Good afternoon. So on behalf of BASS is very excited to let you all know that they too have launched their website. Their website is up and running. So I will also drop the link for their website directly in the chat, but be sure to go on their website. Yay. And see, they have a lot of offerings coming up. So be sure to go on their website and explore. You can see on the screen some of the many, one of the offerings they have coming up, the most recent one they have coming up is the January Institute, and it will evolve around their function-based thinking institute. So that's for January the 29th and 30th. It will be in person, 9 to 4 in Charleston, and all the information you need to register is there. They also have a host of other professional development, learning opportunities, and trainings coming up. So please be sure to go to the BASS website and see what some of those different trainings are. They are also offering opportunities to be partnering districts. So some of those opportunities on the website as well. So please be sure to go explore the website, see what all BASS has to offer.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Hippie.
Hey, so we kind of hit the ground running in the new year, and we have several things coming up that are really exciting. The first is our evidence-based practice and action, and that's our mid-year review. So that focuses on why there should be a mid-year review in an early childhood classroom, and what things to look for to determine if what you have in place is currently working, if there needs to be adjustments, and those types of things. And so that's an asynchronous online course, and you can register from this page. And I think, Sarah, don't you put these up for everybody to access at the end?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, they're already in their Google folder, but yes, either way.
Perfect.
Now
So
or
you
later.
can use these links to get to all of these events and sessions that we have available. Our next is our community of practice, and that is creating collaboration between early childhood sectors. So we are looking to build collaborative partnerships between childcare, preschool, early intervention, all of the different sectors within early childhood, and create some smooth and strong relationships. And then we also will be a part of the South Carolina Council for Exceptional Children's Conference. We will be presenting 2 pre-conferences as well as an early childhood session strand. So you can learn more about that on our website and what we're offering. And then also coming in the spring, we will have our 2024 cohort applications open for See It Academy. So if you're interested in that, you can certainly get your information on the waiting list. We have some YouTube videos you can watch to learn more about See It, and all that can be accessed through our website. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joy Ivester with the Transition Alliance of South Carolina. And we just came out of a late winter statewide interagency transition and dropout prevention conference. And so that was our kind of winter event. Coming out of that, we are, as usual, providing technical assistance to districts. As requested, we have a technical assistance form that we share with all of the other TA centers, as well as the Department of Education's Office of Special Education Services. And if you go onto that and click, you can receive technical assistance from any one of our entities based on your specific need. And ours, of course, is in the area of secondary transition and dropout prevention. So, and someone, and I can do it after I talk, but we'll drop that link to TA requests in the chat. That would be great. We do have a new website that is very much more simplified than our previous website, trying to streamline it. It launched today as well. You go to the same web address, which is right there at the bottom of the page. And with our dropout prevention efforts, we are providing support in conjunction with the Office of Student Intervention Services and the National Dropout Prevention Center. And there were about 50 schools from across the state that participated in institutes in August and September of 2023. We'll be reoffering some of those events this summer, so keep an eye out for that. And with those districts that created and teams and attended those dropout prevention institutes, we want to get special education involved. So you'll be hearing from us with regard to that if you don't have a special education representative on that team, because we're finding that the majority or a large majority of students that are at risk for dropping out of school just happen to have an IEP as well. With the South Carolina High School Employability Credential, we're partnering with Kim to provide some added support to teachers and school districts and schools in this area. And we've created a community of practice that will begin on January 11th. You can go to this website to sign up, and we encourage you to reach out to your teachers, coaches, service providers, leaders, and encourage them to attend. Not only will these be educational sessions where you'll get specific information on updates and events and resources, but you'll also have the opportunity to network with peers and learn from others in the state as well. So we're looking forward to that getting started. We'll be at CEC as well, providing sessions there at Summer University this summer, which is slated for July 15th through 18th. And we're looking at sessions there in the area of dropout prevention, academic support, transition. With the Academic Alliance, we're partnering with them to do some work in that area at the Summer University. And then also with the credential and helping to provide support to local staff and building their toolbox in that area. So that's it from us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much from our SC teams. I mean, it's exciting. I think we're getting ready to launch the combined website to make it easier for you guys and the other stakeholders in the IEP process as far as accessing the information, so that there's one landing point, and that will connect you to all 4 of the other websites as well. And I'll get to that at the end a little bit about technical assistance and the requests. You know, we had a FormStack form that you guys could fill out to request technical assistance, but now we're probably going to be moving to a new model using the new website that we have as kind of the hub for making those requests. But that transition will take place over time. In other words, we'll accept those requests, you know, on the FormStack form for the temporarily until we get the other system kind of fully operational and people used to that, and you guys used to using that for your requests. So let's jump into OSIS priorities. Shannon, I think you have your hand raised if you want to clarify.
Yeah, I was just gonna say also that link has already been embedded into the new website, so it's already up and running and ready to go on the new website as well.
Good. So that's just, we'll take it when we can get it, but please use one of those 2 formats rather than, you know, phone calls or emails, you know, to people within OSIS for requests. So if you want us to assist, or you want some professional development, utilize, like I said, either the SC Teams website or the FormStack form, which is now embedded on the website as well. So that's great. Thanks, Shannon. So just getting back to this is stuff you're going to be familiar with, and that is, you know, we discussed it at the fall administrative meeting, and that is the priorities of OSIS, and this was just defining, you know, what as the SEA, what are our purpose? What's our purpose? What's our objectives? What are we trying to accomplish? And, you know, we're required by statute under the IDEA to develop and maintain an effective and comprehensive system of general supervision. And we're reminded of that fairly frequently from OSIP. And to that end, I did want to let you guys know that it's likely that, you know, we were reviewed by OSIP. It's been a little over a year. It was in fall of 2022 that they came and did a review. We haven't received the letter yet for their differentiated monitoring system, but I would expect it to come fairly soon. So that's likely going to be a topic for a future information session, just to let you know what OSIP has said. You know, like I said, we're definitely emphasizing transparency, and so we'll let you know. I mean, this is what they said, and this is what we have to do as an office to correct. And I'm sure Just like you guys, we get reviewed and we anticipate a series of corrective actions, and we'll have timelines to complete them. The no later than a year applies to us, just like it does to you guys as well. But we anticipate trying to get the things corrected as soon as possible, and we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we're hopeful that we've already addressed many of the things since in the last year, since they came to South Carolina. So, but many of those things will be related to the system of general supervision. We've seen some of the they put all the states in different cohorts, and so we were in cohort number 1 for their new round of differentiated monitoring. And we've seen a few of the letters come out. Alaska, I think it was Arkansas. So they've already come out. New York had a focused monitoring review report come out. So we've seen some of the things that they've been having states do, and like I said, most of it revolves around general supervision. The other one is to provide timely and meaningful technical assistance and support to LEAs, and then to develop programs and initiatives to address critical areas of need. So those are kind of, broadly stated purposes of, why do we do what we do? What is our purpose? What are we attempting to do as the SEA in South Carolina? And then at fall admin, we also talked about what are those critical areas? What are the critical areas that we see? And this is according to the data. These things have pretty much been quite clear as areas of deficiency for us in South Carolina, and things that need state level assistance to move the needle. So Sarah, if you could get to the next slide. And we've been focusing on some of these for quite a while. Obviously, early childhood literacy has been the focus of our SIP since we started the SIP when it was added as indicator 17 to the SPP APR. And our graduation and dropout rates, put us kind of, we rank among the lowest states in those categories for our students with disabilities. And then, the mental health student behavior, which has escalated since students have returned after COVID and the online instruction that they had. And then, of course, the teacher service provider shortage, which is, all of these things. It's hard to work on all of these things and improve and move the needle for these outcomes without having the necessary personnel. So that's where we are with that. So like I said, this is just a reiteration on what are our areas, what are we focusing on, and what are we working on. So what we did is recently we were the agency as a whole, the Department of Education, came out with kind of a strategic planning document, and then each office within it has now been tasked to create their own strategic document. So I wanted to share that with you and just get some input. Ours is in draft. This is the agency's, which was finalized last year. So you guys might have seen it in another context, or might have been passed along by your superintendent. But this is just the agency's overview. And so they call it a 1-4-1-4 strategic planning document. So it sets forth one long-term goal. And in this case, the agency had set the goal of having every child college, career, or military ready upon exit. And they also set that in order to kind of see if they're on the mark as a state for achieving that we have at least 75% of the student population at or above grade level. And so then, it had 4 ways to get there. So in 3 years, and this was a 2030 goal. So looking to see if we could reach that goal by 2030, and then what would we do in 3 years in order to get to that goal. And you guys can read through this. I'm not going to go through the whole plan, but they just, set as an agency. The goal of including, the science of reading, prioritize the math standards, which will be launched next year. The agency is working on a community engagement program and deploying a care program as well to address behavior and mental health issues in schools. And then within a year, the one year goal is to align the resources of the agency around shared responsibility for critical outcomes. And how to get there in that 1 year goal would be to look at the 90-day, activities, which would be to begin a formal review, an external review of the agency's process, which is ongoing now. That has begun an external review of the agency and its processes. And then prioritizing the remaining use of ESSER funds, but that's, obviously coming to a close with the deadlines for the ESSER funds. And there's been initiated a agency-wide project for management reporting, and they're working on the legislative priorities for 2024. So those are pretty much being finalized now. So in OSIS, our task was to take those goals and objectives and create our own. And so this is our current draft. And our goal within our office is to have every student that served under the IDEA to be academically and functionally prepared for adult living. We kind of put a statistical mark on, how do we know whether we're working that way or getting in that way? And one way to look at it, kind of simplified way of looking to see if we're being successful of that, is to try to get at least 75% of our students to a high school diploma or an employability credential. And that's a pretty lofty goal. I mean, we were at about 52% at the last reported SBP APR diploma rate for students with disabilities. And then we have about 8% of our students who are currently getting the employability credential based on last year. So our intention is to raise that. We think that hopefully we can gain a good percentage in high school diploma. Hopefully get our rates up to at least 65%, and then get another 10% of our students with the employability credentials. So obviously we need your help in doing that, and we hope to support you in that effort. But that's our goal by 2030 to reach that. What will we do in the next 3 years? We will be looking to improve and enhance our system of general supervision. Like I said, some of this will be in response to the anticipated monitoring report that we're going to get from OSA. As a state, we anticipate there will be some requirements for changing, or at least creating better clarification of our systems and processes for general supervision of the IDEA. We're also looking to launch a fully functional and integrated system of technical assistance, and we think we're well on our way to that, as you can see from our partners who presented today, and our new websites, which we're very excited about for our technical assistance agencies. We're really trying to make it as user-friendly as possible for all of you to get information, to get the best evidence-based practices we can in your hands, to get TA to you, and to get that assistance to you in an effective and efficient manner. With our summer university, and in its second year this summer, with, like I said, the newly launched websites, with all the different offerings we have probably more robust offerings this year than we've ever had, and we expect that to grow. And so that's we're well on our way to that, but we certainly within the next 3 years, we think it's going to be a comprehensive system that you guys will be able to access pretty easily. The other one is to increase literacy performance. Once again, that's the subject of our SIP, our indicator 17. And we're hopefully going to see some improved performance, and that'll be evidenced by SE Ready scores as we continue to emphasize the science of reading, to continue to roll out letters training throughout the state. Using the new ELA standards, we're anticipating some movement in that area. So we've been kind of in the bottom third on ELA for students with disabilities for some time. So we're hoping that to move the needle on that as well, which will lead us to greater rates of graduation. And then to develop and implement the SCPP, or South Carolina's Pathways project that we've launched with the grant that we received. So we're hoping to, get that, we're rolling that out. Right now it's in the development stage, and we'll certainly be keeping you up to date on that as that Pathways project is implemented and plans are developed. So we're hoping that assists in getting us to our ultimate goal. And then for the next year, our overarching objective is to align the data and processes that we have with the federal requirements and use the information to support the technical assistance that we provide to all of you. So we're just looking for greater alignment and clarity as to what the goals are. And that's in some ways why, we'll continue to talk to you about what our priorities are, what we see as the critical areas of need. And just, you might feel like sometimes a little bit of a broken record repeating that, but I think that the consistency is important to know, to set that as saying, look, this is what we're trying to do. And here's what we're trying to do to support these efforts and get feedback from you guys. And if you say, hey, we think you're doing really good in assisting us with some areas, but there's other areas where we need more support. So let us know that. Within the next 90 days, we expect to basically complete a revised general supervision guide, which will talk about all the aspects of general supervision. And there's many parts of it. It's not just program reviews. That's just one component. It includes dispute resolution. It includes SPP APR data and correction. It includes fiscal reviews as well and reporting. So it includes all of it, really. And so we're going to, be revising that and expect to get that done within the next 3 months. We've already pretty much worked with you guys and with other constituents, including our advisory council, on establishing baselines and targets for our SIMR in our SIP. And so we're going to be putting that in our SPP APR submission for the state, which is due on February 1st. So if you guys remember, there's a process to the SPP APR. Basically, we have to do our initial submission by February 1st. We get feedback from OSEP, and they allow us a 2-week correction period. And then we submit the corrected or updated SPP APR submission, and then it's finalized after that. And then at that point, we release it to the public and put a link on our website to the SPP APR. So that's kind of the process. It's been followed for some time, and we'll be doing that again. So we're frantically preparing the SPP APR during this month because it's due on February 1st. And then also prioritizing the launch of the SC Teams website. And that is pretty much, we're on track for that. We're ahead of the schedule for this, because we were saying within 90 days of adoption of this plan. But we have the SC Teams website launching. We're also looking to launch our web pages again. We're cleaning them up. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to navigate, so it'll still be the same website, the SCDE website, but our pages, we've been building pages that we're going to launch and then take off the pages that are currently out there. So we have that in the works and expect to have that done within the next 3 months. We'll also be working with some of our partners, some of the advocacy groups in South Carolina, We've partnered with them to develop a series of parent-focused informational modules that will be available with links to, and those links will be put on all of the websites. So it'll be on the department's website, it'll be on Family Connections website, Able South Carolina, you know, all of our advocacy partnerships and all of our community stakeholders. We're looking to have them on the website too, so it'll be available to parents statewide. And then finally, just finalizing our data collection process and rolling it out to data managers. You know, we always have that task of making sure everybody's on the same page and collecting data and submitting it. So we're going to continue to work on getting that process clarified and documented and sent out to you. And so that's just an amendment as well. So that is our draft document at the current time. We'll be posting both of these documents into your folder, your Google folder, and so that you have that available to you. And if you want to send me an email, go ahead and use my email address if you have some thoughts about the strategic plan. So Sarah, if you want to put the slides back up.
Peter, over in the chat, Wendy Height had a question about
Sure.
legislators and funding for preschool special ed. Can you see that, or would you like me to read it to you?
Yeah, I can see it.
Sometimes. Okay.
I don't know if Sherry has seen any bills. Sherry, have you seen? I haven't seen any particular bills yet, but so I could get back to you about that. But I haven't seen anything actually in the legislation yet for additional funding. But I know that there's a number of budget requests going forward. So as soon as those are disclosed, we'll be able to see them. They haven't been released yet.
Okay. So these were the only two slides that were left. This is the email or the URL, but I think someone, Joy, maybe already put this in the chat for people for the request for assistance.
Yeah, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about requests for assistance. So this is something we said before, is the way that we're working with the agency, especially with we've now have a full cycle of program reviews, and we've seen an uptick in complaints. We've seen an uptick, this school year, definitely a significant increase in that as well, and in due process filings. So there's going to be a decent amount of need for compliance, professional learning opportunities. So, the way we've cut it up is we're moving more towards a model where, department personnel will provide the compliance training, and then the PLOs for best practices will go through our technical assistance agencies. So just so the breakdown when you do make a request, oftentimes, that's when it's going to be reviewed. We're going to be working with it, and sometimes it will be a combination. And there's not a clear line between those two things, compliance and outcomes. Sometimes it's a combination of both. So it might be people from the department. And the other thing is just availability. At times of the year we get really crunched. This is one of those times of year because we have, our major data and submission to the federal government is due February 1st. So, January tends to be a very hectic month, and, we oftentimes need pretty much the whole office to contribute to that report to provide assistance on it. So, and then, we have obviously the ongoing project, the major project of switching IEP systems. So that's taking a lot of time and effort as well. And so just keep that in mind as you do your requests for assistance. So sometimes we may not be able to, accommodate those, but and we're also looking, and this is why part of the reason why I went through some of the things that we're focused on as an office is just, we want to make sure that that we're aligned with those critical areas of need. So, I mean, those are going to be the priorities. And when we're seeing it based upon data, in other words, we would like, as you guys consider the requests that you make for assistance on things, that it be aligned with the areas of need that are evident from your own data, from your LEA determinations and from your SPP APR profiles, that the data suggests that these are areas of need for you. So, so anyway, just making sure, I mean, as you know, we have limited resources just like districts do. And so using our resources the best we can to support you guys is our goal. But we also want to be guided by the data and making sure that we're hitting the areas that we really need to hit. So that's the plan. Any questions? Well, let me just talk about, so the next session, if you can go to the next slide, the next session will be, sorry, you were right in your click. It will be January 16th. We will be talking about the project for switching from SC Enrich to EdPlan SC. So we'll be giving some more information on that. So we'll be giving an update next week to you guys on that project. As you guys know, hopefully you've all signed up. I think we've confirmed all the registrations for the power user training. So that's going to occur in February. So that is the first phase of things. And then once you complete your power user training in your district, then you will have access to the training site and you'll be able to do your end user training so that we can get ready for that transition. So we'll start to talk a little bit more about it. You know, we'll give you as much detail as we can at this point about the project and where we are and what we anticipate for the next semester as we roll into the summer. And then, you know, we don't have answers to all the pieces of the project because we're still working on the, you know, the data migration pieces, the data integration pieces with the student information system. So those are still a work in progress, but we'll tell you what we know at this point so that you can anticipate what you'll need to do on your end to support that project. Any questions? Thank you, Wendy.
Peter, did you see she added, I guess you've just answered that, about the update on the EdPlan process, that there's a rumor that Ed Enrich will be funded for an additional year to help with the transition?
No, yeah,
That's
no,
not-
that would be news to me. No, we won't be funding Enrich. Enrich will be available, you know, for a little bit after in a read-only state. We do know that during the dark period. So the dark period will occur in June. We don't have a specific date for that yet, but we're working on that. But we're looking at a dark period where you know, Enrich, you have to, you know, everybody has to stop inputting in Enrich so that information can be transferred to the new system. And then so we're looking at that, but there's not going to be an extra year of Enrich. It's our understanding, and you should be getting information on this soon, that Enrich will offer it to districts if they want to continue to have, and of course this would be read-only access to Enrich for a time period after the transition takes place. So that it's our understanding that Enrich is making that available, and they're going to be providing I guess pricing estimates to districts who want to have that information in the near future. But we can talk more. We can talk more about the transition next week too, as that'll be a subject for next week. Any questions about the strategic planning or about the priorities for the office? All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys tuning in on this crazy weather day here in South Carolina. I guess other states probably got hit even worse, but I appreciate you tuning in, and maybe it was a a nice reprieve with the e-learning that went along or was implemented throughout the state. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.